Welcome back to Sunset Sessions, hosted by Marco Messina. And right now, we got the big dogs on the couch with me. Lead producer of UCL Today, Matt Curtis, and then the brains behind the operation, and my boss, Pete Radovich. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
How are you?
You look very excited to be here.
I'm excited to be talking to you, Marco, as always.
Pete, you've been waiting for this moment.
Oh, it's great. I think we have an opportunity to make history here. Have someone fired for the first time live on a podcast. If you misstep.
Where's my misstep going to come from?
I'm just saying. Yeah. We're gonna test you a little bit.
Constant analysis.
Yeah. I've seen it. All I've done is big up Croatia.
No, Mark, honestly, we've done this now 4 years. You are one of the only all 4-year OGs that comes every year. You're part of the family. You're unofficial Croatian. I wish you were taller so that we can make you officially Croatian.
He's always got something. You know, it's like right when
if you were just a little taller, maybe we could figure something out. But unfortunately, there is a height requirement in this country. But otherwise, you're an almost official Croatian.
Yeah, I just had my Micah moment. That was my intro where I thought I was getting bigged up, and now you guys know where it comes from. Right there, I got so excited for something. I was like, damn, I'm getting a compliment from Big P Radovich, and then the Ken crumbling down. You know, I had a lot of people sit here. Diego was on before, and he said, what do I got to do to keep coming back every year to Croatia? They're asking me for tips. But Pete, on a serious note, how much pride do you feel bringing this to Zadar? You know, this is your place that you always came every single summer. I was looking at you when you were speaking to everyone, and there was even a question that was brought up that said how the Champions League show started in Zadar.
I don't know if you know that.
So I heard you say it yesterday.
Yeah, so Champions League show, basically all the Zooms that I did leading to year one, the summer of 2020, I had a quarantine for 2 weeks before I went to London. So that meant quarantining in a hotel room in London for 2 weeks, coming from the US, or being in Croatia free for 2 weeks because Croatia was on the green list to go into UK, no quarantine. US was on the red list if I went directly. So I decided to do, obviously, come to Croatia, got an Airbnb for 2 weeks, and did all my Zooms, all my interviews, talked to Matt, formatted the show. Basically, the origins of the show were created in this city, which someone asked a question, I forgot about that, but literally, this city as a connection to our Champions League show because of those 2 weeks were so pivotal in us getting on the air and being free here and just having a peace of mind. It's surreal now. This summer will be 5 years that here we are 5 years later. Our Champions League show, which was nothing at that point, is now a global hit. And now, on top of that, there's a sports event here that I'm a big part of as well that's now prospering. So to be able to, you know, I'm American, born and raised in America, but I'm American-ish. I consider myself more Croatian in heart and mind than I do American, but all of this is surreal on some level, that it's all coming together the way it has. And to answer your question, proud is a massive understatement.
I know you've done a lot of things. You've produced some high-level stuff. But did you have a pinch me moment that you've been able to bring some of the best stars here? I mean, first year we had Ray Lewis, like the place that you grew up, you had family that you've introduced me to here that I can see their pride when they say, oh, you know, I grew up with Pete, and now look what he's doing to put Zadar on the map.
Bill Belichick on stage last year.
Bill Belichick.
To be on stage interviewing Bill Belichick in Zadar was as surreal a moment in my life as I've ever had. Just someone said 10 years ago, you're going to be in Zadar, Croatia, on a stage interviewing Bill Belichick. It's like, what science fiction crazy movie are you watching? That was probably, it's all, I mean, Matt and I work with a lot of celebrities, and we work with you.
I didn't catch that one at first.
This is fun. That's mean.
Marco's mom, I'm sorry. But like we work with a lot of celebrities, big names, and you can't get caught up in that. You just can't. I mean, Matt, same thing. Like we deal with, Super Bowl winners, World Cup winners, Oscar winners. Last week we were working with Tom Cruise and Tom Brady and David Beckham, and it's like you really don't get that oh my God moment anymore very often. But that was one here.
And I think it's pretty cool, like watching from being here. Also, those people, they're interested to be at the conferences. They're telling me, oh, I'm learning stuff. I'm trying to develop a new skill, and that's why they're coming here. Yeah. Matt, this is your first time in Zada at the Sunset Festival. I don't know if you've been to Croatia.
No, I hadn't, no, which I'm quite embarrassed about, but I hadn't been to Croatia until Sunday night, yeah.
When did you find out that you were coming?
Well, I don't want to stereotype Pete, but about 2 weeks before it happened.
That's pretty good.
It's like
I'm usually not last minute, but in this case I was last minute.
So we're kind of preparing for a Europa League final, Championship playoff final, Champions League final. So in those kind of times, we probably talk a little bit too much, like 6-7 times a day. And the end of one of these phone calls, what are you doing after the Champions League final? Trying to think of something, invent something. Nothing really. Oh, what? Right, you're coming to Croatia. Basically a bit of R&R, speak on a couple of panels with me. Oh, and by the way, we're doing this award show, so I'd spent the previous 2 weeks doing Europa League final, Champions League final. That was the hardest show of the lot.
Really?
Yeah.
The SofaScore award show?
Yeah. But fun at the same time, because we hadn't done it before. We were throwing a lot of things together with a lot of different nationalities, whilst at the same time, I think we probably both kind of quite like a challenge. That was debatable for a day or two beforehand, but yeah, we pulled it off.
The film crew was from Italy. The technical crew was from Croatia. Production was from Britain and America. And we were thrown together in 24 hours and said, all right, put on an award show that's not going to embarrass CBS and SofaScore. And I think we didn't embarrass people. I don't think we embarrassed anyone, but that was a challenge. And credit to Matt, a bigger challenge for him because, I at least I knew a little bit going in, but he was truly, that was a thrown into the fire moment as any I've ever seen. But to his credit, he got it done.
It's funny, like when Pete kind of mentions all those famous people that we work with, and I always think my biggest job, whoever they are, is they want to be controlled. Like they want to know that somebody is kind of in charge of them and will tell them what to do and not panicking. This gets kind of. But at the same time, they kind of go hand in hand. You want to make the host, the broadcaster, the pundit feel as comfortable as they possibly can. If their brain is as clear as possible of all the other stuff that's going on, then they can do their job and they can kind of do it well. And so whilst we were putting out fires left, right and centre trying to get this award ceremony to go, it's still kind of my job to make sure Kate is at her best, Peter Schmeichel's at his best, Thierry calling in, Jamie calling in, Micah calling in. You still can't sort of show them the stress that's sort of kind of going on there. And I think maybe for the first time, Kate did sense a bit of stress in me, but we got there.
What was the dynamic like? Obviously, Croatian American, but working in American TV, and then Matt, you're based in London, in England, and like the first interactions you guys had when you worked
Champions League.
Yeah, and how was that different? Like, did your worlds collide? Was it unique for you? Because in the end, you created the best football show in the world. Anywhere you go, people will credit it. But
I don't think I'm a your normal American producer either, so that makes it even more difficult. I'm a little bit out there and not risk adverse, and so you take the extreme American producer with a person who would work in Britain but with an open mind.
I'd been producing sports shows, mainly football shows in England for a while, and then in 2019 I did the Champions League final in Madrid. It should have been like the epitome, right? It was Gary Lineker, Rio Ferdinand, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, like all good names, 2 English teams playing in Madrid, Champions League final. I think it's still the most watched non-terrestrial TV show in England. And this is to my detriment, but I came out of it kind of unfulfilled, which is like, I was questioning, like, what? Like, you've just, like, 12 million people watching or something, like, why? I'm working with these great names, why? And nothing against those people, nothing against English television. I just find English sports shows a little bit boring. So I was done. I quit, started another business, I wanted to do something else. And then a year or so later, I get this phone call. We're going to make the Champions League for America, but we're going to make it in England. Do you want to look after it? I was a bit, I don't really want to be a TV producer anymore. I'm sort of kind of done, but kind of got convinced, so did it. And then, like, I suppose I went into kind of normal producer role as I had been for the shows that I've been making for the last couple of years. Again, nothing against those shows, it was just over style. And went into this project with like a kind of similar thing, and then very quickly realized that mine and Pete's brains were pretty similar in terms of taking chances, doing things a little bit differently, being able to laugh at yourself. And I kind of came back to this mantra that I'd had maybe sort of 10 years prior, before I was doing those Champions League shows, of sports entertainment. It's people's outlet, you know, and especially when we started it, because it was in COVID, and Pete kind of, you know, told me a lot. You know, I wasn't in America, I didn't know how badly COVID was affecting America. I could see it in London, obviously. And so becoming the entertainment kind of side of that show, which we did pretty quickly, became easier, because I was thinking, all right, like, there's somebody sat at home who can't leave their house, but we can kind of bring that joy to them. And so all that, and Pete tells a great story about like the very first meeting we had with, what was there, eight or so kind of members of talent there. And they were all expecting, I think, this kind of big kind of presentation, and this is what we're going to do. And we essentially just kind of stood at the side and watched these people chat. You tell this story quite well.
Yeah, I mean, basically you had Peter Schmeichel, Jamie Carragher come in, who know each other. They would give each other a little bit of steak. Michael would come in. He didn't know Peter very well, but you know, they're introduced to one another. Kate would come in. She didn't know a few people, but they're starting to learn each other. They're having fun. They're talking. This is our first ever production meeting.
Alex was there, wasn't she?
Alex
as well?
Scott, Roberto Martinez. So the whole point of the meeting was, all right, let's get together. We're doing Champions League show. And we just kind of let them, and they were laughing more and more, joking more and more. And I'm not exaggerating. This went on for an hour. And we just sat there and let them do their thing. And then at some point, I'll never forget, Kate turns to me in front of the whole room and says, Pete, what are we doing? We're going to do a production meeting. I said, what you guys just did, you don't even need me. That's the show. And they're like, well, yeah. I'm like, no. That's the show. What you just did is the show. We're here to guide you. Everything you just did here, that's what we need to do on air.
It's so true. It was like reality TV. Like, put 10 famous people, whoever it was, in a room, and almost like, right, you guys have got to make that work. Which is again another thing that I preach quite a lot to the team now. Like, they have to have ownership of that show. And before we do any Champions League show, we sit in a room for an hour and a half. And I've kind of got a bit of an idea of where the format's going, but at that moment, that format can go out of the window, because if Thierry says to me, I don't think we should be doing that, I think we should be analysing Dembele, he's the ex-footballer, he's won what he has, of course he's right, and we kind of go with that. So that format kind of changes, like, kind of at that point, but we've got to a wonderful place with them where they care about it, they take ownership of it, they kind of believe in it, and so, you know, some of the ideas that come from them. But then even then, like once the show starts, yes, we've had that format that we've started working on maybe a week prior. We get it on the day of a show, it can go out the window. And then when we're actually in the show, 50% of what we do is not formatted, and it's just...
It can't be precious. So production, a lot of times, producers will be very precious of their format because they've spent the whole week working on it down to the T, down to the second. And there's ownership of it. It's like, no, this is the way I see it happening. And they become very precious about it. All we care about is a good show. If we have a segment formatted that's going long and it's really good, we'll just kill the next segment. We'll just do a dummy segment, which we come out of commercial, talk for 20 seconds, do a promo, go back commercial. Now, an entire segment we prep for, edited, prep for, literally never sees air. But the segment before was so good, who cares? No one's at home thinking, wait, I thought we were going to do a segment on that. Nobody knows. The viewer is all that matters. I can't be precious about what our plan was. I need to be precious about what's entertaining for the viewer. So that comes with experience, I think. And it comes with confidence. You know, it comes with, we're in a position where we don't have bosses that are breathing down our necks like, well, why was that segment only 30 seconds long? It's like, they trust us so we can do what we want. So it's been amazing.
It's funny. I had this exact conversation with Kate at whatever it was, 11 o'clock local time in Munich on Saturday night. So we've still got an hour of the show to go. Bear in mind, she's just been doing the David Beckham show, and so she has no idea what we're doing, and comes in talking on Talkback, and she says, "Right, what are we doing for the next hour?" I'm like, okay, I have no idea.
No way. Really? How do you, that sounds so scary.
That's the best. It's what's fun. It's not scary. You know what's scary? Flying a plane when an engine goes out.
That's true.
That's scary. That's scary. Being in a home that's on fire is scary. We're doing sports television. Nothing about it should be scary. No one's going to die if we make a mistake.
And again, that ownership thing, right? Because they know how it works. We've educated them. It's their show. Like honestly, we could point a camera and not talk to them for an hour. They'd be okay.
They'll be all right.
They'd be okay.
I mean, that comes with time, but like we're at that point now where we're it's chemistry, trust, and ownership. They take ownership of the show. They're not just waiting, being told what to do and what to say. They care about the show as much as we do.
Absolutely. I know you guys
obviously, all the really hilarious bits come from us, though.
Yes, clearly, with the jokes that you guys have had tonight. I know you guys want to watch the.
Yeah, we got another minute.
We got
another 2 minutes.
All right, perfect. One of the things that you've always told me, Pete, which it sounds very simple in practice, was the ability to make mistakes. And again, I think that there's probably a lot of bosses that say that, and you always say, I don't want you to make the same mistake twice.
That's it.
But if you make a mistake, it's fine. Like, how do you get to that point that you can accept that? And did you guys ever have a moment coming from different backgrounds where maybe, Matt, you were like, I don't know if we could really do that early on or any moment?
Well, we had the
like
whole
that.
Kate translation moment where you were kind of like, we can't do that, translate live on the air. And I was like, if she messes up, who cares? Let her do it. It was like day one. It was basically like, Kate, there was an interview, it was in Spanish, and I said, let's run it because Kate can translate it. Matt said, well, we can't do it live on the air. She says, see it, blah, blah, blah. Put it live on the air. Like, well, what if she doesn't know Spanish? I'm like, even better, we'll laugh at her. Like, my whole thing is like, I don't have a phone with me, my phone's over there. But people are now watching television, proper television, like this. What am I going to do on that screen to make me put the phone down and look up and stay engaged? If you do a perfect show, perfect analysis, in, out, boom, go, that is becoming white noise. It is not going to make me put my phone down. If we have a mistake, maybe orchestrated by us, something that goes off, I don't want to call it a mistake, something that goes off script, suddenly it's a little bit chaos, it's not clean, that's going to make me put my phone down and watch what the hell's going on here. And here's the bonus. You've now made me put my phone down and watch the screen. Then we take that moment and put it on your phone.
People talk a lot like about second screens, and you can second screen them. So often in a pre-game situation, that's the second screen. That's the first screen.
It's true.
And on our aim, you know, Pete says about white noise. It's so true. Our aim is to make that the first screen, and ideally make that redundant, but like second screen.
Fantastic.
I think before we wrap up, Marco's done an incredible couple of days here. It's the end of the season.
This isn't about him. It's about us.
Pete, you should do a 3-word end of season appraisal of Marco. Oof. 3 adjectives to describe Marco.
Likeable, charismatic. Likable's number 1 by mile. That's I can't believe I'm doing this. It's just so against every inch of my fiber.
Just trying to make sure I'm hearing all this correctly. Wait, do we have this recorded? Just make sure this part's clipped.
Like, you can't teach likable. You can't become likable. That is, you are either born with it or you're not. Likable, charismatic, and passionate.
Thank you.
Pretty good, right? I didn't say handsome.
You didn't say short, though. I was expecting short. That's what I was waiting for. I didn't want to get too excited yet.
Anyone that knows you already knows that.
Do I still have a job?
Yeah, you have a job.
Is that seat raised?
All right. Yeah, you can't say anything. Matt, go on to the fashion show.
All right.
Matt, thanks so much. Pete, appreciate the kind words.